Hello, everyone, and welcome to Storm King's Thunder Big Boy Season.
Big boy.
Our Storm King's Thunder campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. I am your Dungeon Master tonight. I am Matthew Foreman. You can find me at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. And hey, Chris, thanks for joining. Before we get started, let me do the channel business. Real quick, Lucius/Casa won't be joining us right away. He'll be joining whenever he gets done with something, and we'll throw him very quickly. For channel stuff, make sure that you are doing our follower giveaway. If you haven't already entered, be sure to do so. Push it on your friends so we can reach our goal of 1,200 Twitch followers. Tomorrow, we are having a special Space Potato one-shot. Set in the Cold Suns universe with all the Cold Suns people, where we will all be playing shape-shifting space potatoes. And that should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a classic Dice Priority one-shot with all the humor and stuff. The last time we did a Modern Age one-shot, or excuse me, an Age one-shot, or a Green Ronin product one-shot, it got turned into an official adventure. So there's high hopes for this one. And that, I believe, should be the most channel announcements I have to do. Yeah. As always, Discord, follow that, join our Discord if you want. Yeah. Okay, y'all can introduce yourselves.
Hello. I'm Tom.
Hi, Tom.
I am a pirate.
True.
Yeah. I am Tom. I play Geyser, the Drow fighter. Battle Master. Has the alert feat. Level 9. 23 strength. That's it.
Have you had the alert feat the whole time?
Who?
You. How long have you had the alert feat?
The entire time. Since level 1.
Huge.
Yeah, Crone, you can hop in.
All right. My name is Crow, and I am also a pirate. Yep. I play Zane Korakai, the tiefling sorcerer from Mirabar. And I don't have the alert feat, but I am a gold dragon kind of ancestor, so that's cool. And yeah, we're gonna moot something. That's me, May. Hello.
Hi, I'm May. I play Alyssa Selniari, an Aasimar druid. I do not have 23 strengths.
How much strength do you have?
I have 10 strength, 11 strength. I am not very strong.
Huge.
I am 16 because I decided arbitrarily that I had a birthday, so I am now 16. And that's me. What about you, Faye?
Hey, I'm Faye. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at It's Faye. And tonight I'm playing Aubrey Harper, the human artificer, who just good at shooting things with her crossbow, including her now deceased husband. Rip.
Wow.
Too soon.
Recently murdered husband. Cool. Casa. All right. Thank you, Casa. Awesome. And so, when we last left the Heroes of Triboar, what was I doing? Yeah. When we last left the Heroes of Triboar, they had just departed on a seafaring voyage. I don't know, seafaring voyage, that's it. And departing from Waterdeep after a mixed victory against Duke Zalto at the Iron Slags, who teleported away with other members of the giant ruling society. They journeyed onto the waters and encountered a crew led by the Deep Scion Dalton, Faye's lost husband, who Aubrey, summarily put to rest, ending his suffering after 15 long years lost at sea under the subservience of a kraken. They then journeyed closer and closer to the storm giant stronghold, the Maelstrom, until they finally departed onto a smaller ship, a kind of rowboat led by the Saltsayer, and descended into the depths of the ocean using a very clever use of the control water spell, continuously parting their way down. Along the way, they encountered a massive monstrosity, webs of lightning, and the very cold, hard ground, all which sought to make them, well, die and suffer. But through clever uses of arcane magic and other things, they were able to thwart said difficulties. And there we go, that's the track. And then they entered into the Maelstrom, where they met a mixed reception from the Storm Giant kind. Some guarded them with great suspicion and even modest hostility, and others greeted them very warmly once they stated their purpose for being there, and they were led to an audience with the twin sisters of the now currently reigning queen, the sisters Nim and whatever the heck her other name was, Serissa. Right? No, Sarissa's the...
Mirren?
Mirren, thank you, yeah. Mirren and Nim. And they also met the court sorcerer Imrith in disguise, who Lucius confronted in a rather dramatic speech. Once Imrith knew that the jig was up, so to speak, she teleported her and Nim out of there, and Mirren dimension doored herself and swam away. Serissa, being told of this, what had just happened, and the story being confirmed by Tyndall, one of the storm giants, and another who was sitting there waiting, agreed to assist, agreed to hear out the Heroes of Triboar in their story and in their voyage, but only if they would attend the Storm Moot to elect or determine what is to become of the Ordning and the next Storm King, as it were, with Duke Zalto also being there. Excuse me, Jarl Storvald and Countess Sinistra, something like that. So we pick back up in that kind of the dead of that drama, with you all being invited to the moot, knowing that it takes place the next day, and the giant lords being kind of disperse and disregard you. Countess Sensuri, there we go. Heroes of Triboar, what do you wish to do?
We were asked to be like witnesses, right? Or like vote on something or something like that? Testify, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just making sure. What are you doing, guys? Need to stall.
What exactly do they want us to testify on? Just what we have come here to confront, or?
Yeah.
Yes, we must tell the truth about what had happened before.
At the Iron Stacks?
Yes.
What exactly, I mean, if we're testifying against Zalto, it's pretty simple, right? We have a pretty bad track record with him, no? Seems pretty simple to bring up some bad things he has done.
Yeah, very much so.
How do you feel about letting them know about the prophecy?
You could say it. I don't think they'll believe it. But you never know. Giants might take prophecies more than most.
I mean, there is the Oracle. The Oracle could, we have spoken with the Oracle. The Oracle has confirmed some things involving the prophecy, right? So they obviously regard that very highly.
Maybe we can appeal to the vanity of the queen, since she is somewhat related to the prophecy, isn't she?
Yes.
Back.
A queen will be crowned. Well, that is her, right? Presumably. A war will be lost unless I have this written wrong.
Wait, no, because wasn't the
Or
queen
lost.
the
No.
drow? It was your mom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
In the
Maybe
sign.
we shouldn't share the prophecy then.
Maybe we should share the prophecy, but just say the queen refers to her. We could say that.
Tyndall, I believe, was the one. Yeah, Tyndall was the crab shepherd, a master of crabs, as it were. And he is kind of standing away from you as all the giant lords disperse. He says, "Oh, did you want me to show you to your room?"
Well, yes, that would be very helpful.
And
Tyndall.
he leads you down to the other level, down to level 1, and you are shown to a room in the maelstrom. It's actually just a single. It's a giant. It's a room for one storm giant, so it's absolutely massive. It's 80 feet by 70 feet, and the bed is 50 feet by 30 feet. So you have one bed.
Oh, I think we have enough room here.
That's going to be comfy.
I will throw it up on the map. Okay, looks like Fog of War isn't on. I want it on a little bit. Okay. So, there we go. This is your room. I've pinged it on the map.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Let me double check something.
All I see is darkness.
Right. Dynamic lighting was on. Okay. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. So that's your room. It's one bed, simple, arrangement and stuff, but it's huge.
Hmm. The situation.
So, I know I go back to this prophecy sometimes, but in going back to it, it does say that 3 kings must die for the war to be won, being Duke Zalto, the Martian, and Hekaton.
Hmm.
So, if we're trying to save Hekaton, to stop the ordering from being shattered and whatever Duke Zalto is trying to do, then how can it occur that Duke Zalto and Hekaton must both die?
It's very interesting, yeah. Maybe Hekaton is corrupted?
Might
Being
be?
trapped in a kraken's cave might do things to you I mean we couldn't comprehend.
Probably. I suppose it doesn't really matter if Hekaton leaves as long as the storm giants don't lose faith in the fact that they could still be on the top of giant society. They think that maybe they can
Restructure.
restructure, find Hekaton. Perhaps they can just force Duke Zalto out right now. It's hard to imagine where the Martian fits into all of this.
Yeah.
Exactly, at least. I mean, I have my
Only-
suspicions.
The only thing
but-
we have to work with is that he's working with the dragons, no? Or at least in conjunction, presumably.
Yeah. I think that would be the safest assumption, given the fact that Aegir was a... what was it called? again?
Lizard man, I think was the technical term.
I don't think that's...
Guys
what
are
the
smarter than that.
This.
Abyssai
Yeah,
or Abyssai.
Abyssai.
Whichever.
Aegir was an Abyss, yes. But it still doesn't quite add up.
If they're working with the dragons, and the dragons, or at least Emirith is working with the sisters, this runs quite deep.
Yeah, it's the whole crime syndicate.
Dragons and giants are working together. Yeah, that's
Oh
just
my.
like not supposed to happen.
Yeah, very crazy considering they were at war for like hundreds of years or something.
Thousands.
Well,
Longer than that. Yeah.
maybe they're not working together though. Maybe one's just using the other.
I mean, like, that doesn't really like. There must be something that is, unless the giants are just like stupid, right? There's no way they would just trust this dragon without some sort of a surety that he wouldn't just trick them, right? There's no way.
Dragons are cunning creatures.
The giants, I can't really blame them. I've done it.
What's up, user?
That got it.
I suppose we don't have all the information. We don't really know what is in it for them necessarily. On the surface, you could say that the sisters are there to help their sister be queen. So getting rid of their father was a way to do that.
Is the third sister a part of them?
Didn't seem like it.
She could just be making a good act. We don't know.
Perhaps.
Potentially. You know.
Well, so we basically So what do we do? Who do we want to be king of the giants then? If we're not sure about the daughter and we don't know Hekaton's been corrupted, then what do we do?
Well, if Zalto must die and Hekaton must die, then it can't be either of them. It at least whatever we do tomorrow should be along the goal of not having Duke Zalto rule.
Most
But
likely
preferably
being-
die.
Eventually, I'm not sure if that can happen tomorrow, but I mean, if it can,
I mean,
without us
seems
dying.
like the best option is to try and make sure that the storm giants remain at the top of the order, no?
Yeah, I would say so.
Preserve balance and all that. And Zalto is probably the one with the most claim. So anything that we can have against him, what we should use.
So we have the fact that Duke Zalto tried to get Sivondin Dodd, tried to basically destroy everything with that, gain power with it.
Maybe there shouldn't just be one king of the giants.
What are you trying? What would you propose?
I mean, it just seems like if there's one ruler overall, it just seems to be causing a lot of problems for a lot of people in a lot of places.
We're going to be able to go in and upset the entire
Democracy.
government.
This is technically a democracy, but it's more
Yeah.
like an oligarchy. So.
Yeah, you know, I remember I read a book once about someone. It was like very, very old. You know, it's like kings inherited. You know, the ruling from their fathers and stuff like that. And then someone proposed democracy, and they got very
They
laughed
got
at.
laughed at. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that book. I read that too.
So I don't know if that would be well received here.
I don't think that's something that we are going to be able to do.
No,
Then
it's not.
One moot.
It just seems like it's impossible to just put one person in power because it's so easy to just.
I mean, the Storm Giants are kind of like okay with being in power, right? They are relatively kind. They are not trying to screw anyone over like Duke Zalto is, right?
Well, it just seems like we don't know which ones to trust because two of them were working with a blue dragon, right?
True, very true. Can we just have the giants exist in a permanent state of they don't know what is going on? Like, I don't know. They could delay things further after if we put doubt in their head about
Which
what they want to
time
do.
doll? Sweet time doll, King of the Giants. That guy rocks. Oh, okay.
You can roll the crabs. You can roll the giants.
True. Maybe there's a way to. No, that's probably not. That probably is not gonna work.
Maybe we just distract them.
Who?
The giants.
All of them?
I think. I mean, let me explain. The Kraken we know has Hekaton.
Correct.
We could say that the Kraken is trying to come for them as well. Trying to take out all giants. That would certainly be a distraction.
Maybe it's not a distraction, but maybe that's a good idea. I think saying that is a good idea, not in the sense that it would cause fear, but in a sense that the fear could cause them to shift priorities to the Kraken, right?
Exactly, it distracts him.
Exactly, but if someone is opposed to this, for us knowing what we know, it could cause a doubt on their character, right? Cast doubt on the character, sorry.
Explain on who?
If I was working with the people who orchestrated this coup, right, I would want them not to worry about the Kraken at all.
Yeah.
So
your worry is that they'll try to get everyone back on the same focus?
it's not the worry, but it is a tell to see who might be exactly.
I understand. Yeah, who is trying to shift the focus so we know who is on which side.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, that would be very good to, if we are paying attention, which we should be. Can gain a lot of information from that.
Yeah. At least gives us a place to start from to see how deep this goes.
But I'm not sure, outside of the Storm Giants, who is going to... I mean, if the Storm Giants are being targeted because of Hekaton going missing, right? Are the other Giants going to be worried? But maybe they would not want... Maybe they would want to capitalize on that?
It just doesn't make sense that the Storm Giants are content with a Fire Giant being a leader. I don't know how giant culture works. Does that make Fire Giants higher than Storm Giants in the cast? How does that work?
I assume it would, but yeah, I don't really know.
But then if you're a Storm Giant, why are you okay with that?
Because you don't have a king.
I feel like if you're... I mean, they have a queen right now, right? And for her to just be on board with Zalto, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe that's just something we should ask in the mood.
Yeah, we could ask our friend.
It would be very disrespectful to ask during the move, no?
I think if it is untastefully enough, it could not be disrespectful. It could just...
Hey, you working with the Fire Giants? Just call her out.
Not like that exactly, but just say...
Yeah.
What is her name? The queen again.
I should look at my notes as well.
The queen's sisters from Yara and Nim.
Serissa.
Queen Serissa, yep.
Would say, I beg pardon, Queen Serissa, but it would be... I think at least to us on the outside, it is quite curious that you would potentially sacrifice the position of you and your fellow Storm Giants on in the shattering of this ordering. Do you not wish to maintain rule?
Exactly.
Perhaps in King Hekaton's absence?
Yeah, I think if you say it like that, it might work. It's just such a weird situation. Like, why would you ever want to side with the people taking your power? History has taught me you never do that.
Unless you're scared of them.
I guess unless
you feel like you have no other choice.
Well, I mean, at this point they have a choice because the Death Titan is gone.
Yeah.
Yes, but what does the Kraken scare them or something?
Well,
it could.
I'm not necessarily. Remember, Timedall said, or I forget who told us, but they said that a group of well-trained Storm Giants could kill a Kraken.
Well, then why haven't they gotten their king back from him?
Because they
That's-
don't know that
yeah.
Hekaton was there.
Oh yeah. Okay, well then maybe that's just what we should tell them. Tell them to hold off the moon.
Let's get Hekaton.
We'll
he's-
get Hekaton.
If he's corrupted, then maybe there's a way
Maybe
to
not.
cleanse him. There's storm giants. I'm sure storm giants can find a way to cleanse someone of cracking corruption.
But it's probably easier to convince
Say that 5 times fast.
Queen Serissa to just stay on the throne a little bit longer if the option of getting her dad back is there, right?
That's what I'm kind of worried about. Is that I think she's working with Zalto.
But then we'll know, and then we can just go get
That's true.
Hekaton and then bring him back and then overthrow them all.
But the problem is we still don't know exactly where Hekaton is, right?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. We only know that he is being held by a kraken.
I would assume the whole force of storm giants, if they're working together, can find
find
what
it,
the
yeah.
Kraken is. That would be the hope.
Yeah, I would hope that they could. If they couldn't, then it might be
And-
telling.
Even like you said, there have to be storm giants that are not okay with Zolto taking over, and maybe they'd be willing to help us find Hekaton.
Storm
maybe
Team
that's
6.
yeah. Maybe that's this. Maybe we should find out who's super loyal to Hekaton still.
Yeah, we just need to sow dissent into the storm giants. If they feel like their position is, it's so confusing why they're okay with this. I can only assume that there's they're scared, but there's no Death Titan to be scared of anymore, or something else.
Well, Zolto has the Dawn Titan though.
They didn't know that
They
the
don't,
Wanted
we-
God was not being...
They put the Dawn Titan in the Death Titan or some shit like that. And then we
Yeah.
took both of them. They're both gone. They don't have either of them.
Yeah, but they, I mean...
What's up?
Would you like to roll history, Kaiser?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
That sounds hot.
Get some strategical.
Strategical mastermind. I have a +4 in history. How do I have that?
Because you're a scholar.
That's true.
Yeah.
War scholar. Low number 7.
7? Okay. So basic information here that you get regardless is, I mean, yeah, you have to ask yourself, why would they? Why would they support him? But maybe you should ask, do they support him? You know, Zalto is not inconsiderable, and not only, it wasn't just the Vonodad was an achievement already, but the armies he had at his command. And when he, by the way, when he went toe-to-toe with the Vonodad, he survived.
True. He's pumping the drone and
He's a bad mother.
He's a bad bitch for
Yeah,
sure.
and not only that, but he had Countess Sinceri,
Cloud.
and the Jarl Storvold, and Chief Ga. So they support him. You know, you gotta ask yourself. You gotta ask yourself how many storm giants in this hold support Zalto's claim
Right.
because of all the things he's done.
Right, that's true.
And if it's even close to half, that's real rough numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a hard situation. From what it seems, is maybe there's an understanding of fear, or at least contentment with it, as there are a large amount of giants, not of Storm, but of all the other houses that are just done with how the cast is set up, I assume, and they want to change it. So
Yeah,
having so many,
because-
yeah,
Yeah, because they want more power for themselves. They want to raise their position.
exactly. So I guess it's the Storm Giants thinking if they can even take on that many giants of all kinds.
I mean, it doesn't just have to be the storm giants versus everyone, though. If somehow other giants are convinced or misled or something of the sort that Duke Zalto does not exactly have their best interests in mind, if he has proven untrustworthy, perhaps?
How can you prove him untrustworthy? Other than working with the dragons, but we can't really prove that.
I mean, we have talked to the Oracle, and they regard that as very sacred. We could just,
they could just say we lied, no?
but they would create the shadow of a doubt in their minds, right?
I mean, yeah,
Perhaps that's all we need.
perhaps so.
Even if there is just, I mean, it might not work like that, obviously, but in times like this, where there's a lot of unsureness in a power struggle, even one shred of doubt can create an avalanche out of a snowball, right? It could keep gaining and gaining, and then the whole mountains can come crashing down upon them. Them being Duke Zalto.
It's alright.
Nice metaphor extension. Good
True.
metaphor.
A plus.
A plus. And you all can go talk to the. You could try to talk to the queen before the moot. You can do any kind of investigatory stuff you don't want. Up to y'all what you want to do. You have a night and a long rest, and a bit of the morning. We're also stalling for Casa, but you know you can do you can do some legwork before he gets here.
Maybe if we just ask Storm Giants, it is definitely not good. If we find the wrong Storm Giant, they will just say that we are trying to, I don't know. I don't want to say a foreign sort of race trying to intercept a giant moot might seem very bad, no?
If that is what they feel it is, then yeah, it could be very bad. If the majority of them don't like our presence there and think we are just trying to screw things up for them.
Mm-hmm. It's just worrisome to talk to most giants because we just don't know where they lie on the sand, right?
I think. Do we know if the Giants are just going forward with this because they believe that Hekaton is truly just gone? Perhaps if Hekaton was theoretically able to be saved, then they would want to hold out until that could happen, and then I don't know. Would they want to continue like that? Even if it is not the Storm Giants? Probably not the Storm Giants, no.
I don't know Storm Giant etiquette, but I would assume if your king is still alive, he is still technically the king. And I don't think you can have a moot without the Storm Giant king.
It just seems like we keep getting back to the point that we need to find out if the queen knows that her dad's alive, and if we can tell if she wants him back or not, and then we'll know going into tomorrow.
Should we try to do that before tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Okay, because there is a sort of power in exposing things in
front of everybody.
Yeah, in front of everybody. It limits the amount of planning and prep work and opposition if they are actually opposed to you. Perhaps we go to the queen now, and the queen is
gets rid of us, kills us.
We don't have to tell her what we know. Maybe we could just find out what she knows. Like,
we could try, yes.
Maybe we just find out whether she actually thinks her dad is gone, or
if we have that good of insight, but she is the Storm Giant Queen, if she is this far into a deception, I don't know if anyone can really tell.
That's why we don't tell her the whole truth, and we use tomorrow to be surpriseful.
Is that a word?
Is this close enough?
Do you have a book that tells you all the words, Kaiser?
I mean, I learned a lot of words.
Well, until you have a book that has all the words in it, I don't want to hear if you think I'm making up words.
Okay.
Alright, so we are in favor of talking to Queen Serissa.
Serissa tomorrow.
Today.
Okay, we're talking to her today. We're asking her if she knows who her father is. Why are we asking this if we cannot tell if she's lying or not?
Because we want to see her reaction, and then her reaction tomorrow when we tell everyone in front of everybody, and if they're different. Maybe we can get an insight into what she's thinking, because if she really does think that her dad's dead, and what evidence that they have, maybe we just find out. Maybe we can ask the whole thing about why, and ask her why she is okay with Zalto taking over.
Yeah,
We have a lot of questions, and we can just pretend like, in order to be respectful observers of the moot, we want to know our questions or answers.
A thing I just thought of. Sorry to take us off track, but if we kill, or not necessarily kill, but if the Marcion, Duke Zalto, and King Hekaton are slain, would the dragons do anything?
Is that their plan?
Just had a thought that if all of those people are taken out, the dragons might try to do something. Taking out Hekaton and Zaltor, I would assume they're two of the strongest giants currently.
Yeah. Are you saying that the prophecy is an elaborate ruse by the giants to set up things in the way they want?
I'm just trying to think of what repercussions could happen after this, and if that was already thought of by somebody ahead of us.
It is worth noting that the prophecy is written from the point of a neutral author. It says the war will be won, but it doesn't say one.
Doesn't say who wins.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it might have been just the dragons winning. Who knows?
The prophecy came from a hag, so really could have came from anyone.
Could have been complete bullshit that just happened to happen.
The hag was quite mischievous. Could have been half true. She could have taken a prophecy that was probably true and then edited some stuff to get you all riled up.
Prophecy fan fiction.
Yeah. She's like, and then Zane and Lucius kiss.
It's in the prophecy.
Yeah.
With the blast, you have to do it.
Slash Vic.
Here, I made these corn husk stalls to emphasize the point.
Smoochy, smoochy.
Yeah, I just think of how bad a dragon resurgence could be. Has anyone has Tiamat done anything in recent years?
Yeah, in canon, like I don't know how familiar you are with like the Dragon Horde storyline, but that all happened. She ascended. She was already a god. She took up residence in Hell. She attempted to take over the world. She and Asmodeus made a deal. Yeah, she's done a lot in recent years, and this seems like she's not quite finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh.
I think Tiamat's a pretty tertiary concern from our point of view here, but it is definitely like this is yet again another chromatic dragon thing.
Okay, well, there's not much we can really do about that. If the giants are trying to take over the world before, and if we have to stop them and the dragons get their chance, I don't know how we could deal with both at the same time.
Perhaps these dragons are not a factor we can really put much weight into
Yeah,
right now.
that's what I think.
Just we go, just talk to the queen.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
have
think
a
on
few
it.
questions for her.
Okay, yeah.
To the queen.
Try to locate the queen.
Yep, she's readily found, and she comes out of her room that's adjoined the throne room and sits on the throne. You see, she sits on this very large throne. It's known as the Worm Skull Throne. Ornately decorated, obviously crafted from the bones of dragons with all these various dragon skulls upon it. She wields a bone wand made out of dragons as well. and it kind of rests on her lap. Imperator Uther, the elder storm giant, who has kind of a scraggly beard, kind of a long, I wouldn't say scraggly, but a long kind of thinning beard, more of a thin body type, kind of skinny legs, and a little bit of a portly stomach. As you are all brought before her, she speaks. She says, "I understand that you have a few questions about your role here, and you have a few questions for me."
Exactly. Sorry to disturb you, but thank you for receiving us in order to be more respectful observers to the mood. We feel as though we should ask you a few things so we are informed on what is to come. Firstly, would it be correct in assuming that you are in favor of Duke Zalto's claim in terms of rising to power, becoming the king?
In favor would be incorrect. I would not paint myself as being in favor of Duke Zalto becoming the Storm King. I am in favor of following our customs.
And the customs dictates that he has the right to do this?
The customs dictate that the leaders of the giant kind have a right to vote and call a moot in a time of crisis, which they have.
Why is it that so many giants are rallying to his side, to his cause, to his claim?
Because in their eyes, he is very strong, very powerful, and he has done many things for them. He spent many months, if not years, forging new alliances, bringing other giants under his control, performing what, in giant terms, were considered to be miracles. He got Jarl Storvald the Ring of Winter. He got Chief Ga a belt that made her stronger than any other giant. And he stole the Dawnforged Titan right out of under the Gauntlgrim and used it to rebuild the Vonadod, however imperfect. These are truly incredible things to giant society. Strength, craftsmanship, warfare.
Do you know if Duke Zalto is still in possession of the Vonadod?
As he tells it, a few of the small folk, I believe it to be you lot, by what you informed us, stole it from him, as he says. Reclaimed it, one might say.
And if that were to be true, how would you feel about that?
I think it would weaken his claim. But even reforging the Vonadod and reclaiming those pieces from those sites was a monumental achievement.
Of course.
I inherited the throne because my father disappeared, and the moot is being convened because he is thought to be dead in absentia.
If that was not the case, if Hekaton was alive and could be saved, how would that change the moot?
Oh, well, then we could not crown a new Storm King, because if he is confirmed to be alive, or thought to be alive, then the moot cannot be held. Well, the moot would be held, but no claim to death in absentia can be made. Therefore, the moot could only preside over procedural matters, like calling truces and that sort of thing.
All right.
We didn't. What did
Why-
you? Oh, sorry.
why-
You go.
Why do you think he's dead? How do you know he's dead?
Well, he disappeared off the coast of this near Smallfolk City. A great amount of carnage was when we sent investigators. A great amount of carnage was observed, and he has not returned. And all attempts to contact him, scry on him, or do anything of the kind fail. So, under those conditions, with the ordning being shattered, there is pressure to move on. It is seen to be the prudent thing to do.
Pressure from who?
Well, from Duke Zalto, Countess Serissa, former Chiefka, who has, I believe, been disintegrated.
R.I.P.
Yes. Jarl Storvald. Even some of the lower Thanes and Stone Giant kind. And, of course, my two sisters, who, unfortunately, and our former court sorceress. But 3 of those votes are no longer relevant, it would seem.
If King Hekaton is indeed alive and able to be saved, would I be correct in assuming that you would very much like to see him return to power?
Yes.
Right, insight check.
Roll an insight check.
I mean, I think we're all insight check, so you can I think you should do it with advantage, maybe, or no?
Go ahead and do it with advantage.
I think the whole goal here was to insight check that.
Inside that.
I absolutely believe that.
Alright. 23.
Ooh. Yeah, she is telling the truth. You see that while diplomatic and capable, this is not a comfortable thing for her. She does not enjoy or love being queen. She seems to be, you get the sense she's more of a scholar and perhaps a sage than someone who has any interest in politics. She continues, I am the youngest of our of Hekaton's 3 daughters. I never had any interest in ruling. But some months ago, maybe it was a year, King Hekaton stood up one morning and announced that I would be his heir. A few months later, he disappeared.
Did that seem to come out of nowhere, announcing you as the heir?
My father is very old, ancient and wise, and a celebrated hero of giant kind. It has not left him to be the most sharing of people, of persons. He has a habit of pronouncing.
I'm sure that is a lot of stress on your shoulders. I hope you are getting through it well enough.
Thank you.
Before your father named you the heir, who was the supposed heir?
Well, Nim and Mirren are twins. So they would have... Nim, I believe, is a few minutes older. So it would have been Nim. But they were twins. So they could have also inherited the throne under a dual monarchy.
Has there been anything like that ever in giant history?
Oh, yes. In old Astoria, there were tetrarchies, septarchies, dual monarchies. There was even something called a president once, which no one understood.
What is that?
A presider. I don't know.
Interesting.
Have they all worked out for the best? The multiple leaders?
Well, Astoria was annihilated in a great war which killed millions of people. So,
right.
No, I don't believe it worked out for the best.
Usually, those types. If you've studied history, usually those don't work, and that's one of a big example.
Well, not for me to say. Do you have knowledge of my father's whereabouts?
Oh no. Who's lying? Who's doing it? Well, technically we don't, actually.
Technically you do.
Technically, we do.
Do we though?
I feel like I would say something.
All right, say it. Let's hear it.
I
I'm
feel like I
excited.
would super suspiciously look like at Kaiser and
Imagining
fucking
that meme. It's like,
Zane.
Wait, does this say anything?
I don't say anything. I just
Oh, okay.
look at Zane Korkai from Mirabar.
Wait.
Before you answer,
Oh.
you should know that it is impossible to lie to the person who sits on this throne.
Oh no. That's our
Why?
secret powers. We lie. We lie a lot.
How does that work? Alyssa asks very curiously.
Huge deflect.
Huge. She looks at you. Well, why don't you try to lie and find out?
Alyssa says,
Let's hear
or
it.
tries to say, we don't know anything about where your dad is.
You should make a wisdom saving throw.
Yes. Oh, she said D&D Beyond. The B is a nat 20, right? Probably. So 28, nat 20, 28.
Okay, that actually succeeds. So she looks at you, and she says, I can see that you lied, but you do not suffer the ill effects. You must be strong of mind.
I look guilty. Wait, but... Dang it.
We do not have exact knowledge
Huge.
of the location of your father, but we are privy to information that most might not have. We intend to go over this tomorrow.
I wasn't supposed to tell you.
I'm getting that impression. Is it from the Oracle, as you pronounce in the antechamber?
Yes.
That's good. If the Oracle knows that Hekaton is alive, then that's good.
Seems
Oh,
like it
no.
would be. It seems like that would be a confirmed claim
Case. Yeah.
that Hekaton is alive if it came from the Oracle.
We opened the
right?
case.
Yes, we could definitely hold it off.
Let's go.
However, there are some procedural matters that will be still need to be attended to. Oh no!
Is there anything that we should worry about involving those procedural matters?
The survival of your city, Mirabar.
Wait, what?
I believe it was next on Duke Zalto's list of his great
Why?
miracles of war.
Zane just kind of nods slowly. Just thinks.
Yes.
See how you're taking this so
That's
calmly?
cold-blooded,
Your family lives
damn.
there.
That's cold-blooded. She is savage. You got cat sending on your family. Yo, get out!
Get out.
How exactly does Duke Zalto plan to attack one of the most well fortified cities of the north?
Well, he hasn't shown me his war plans, but
Just so
he
stank
has some 1,200 giants at his command, all who are war-tested and battle-ready, which is probably enough to wipe out
any city, really.
any human city.
Under his control for now.
His plan, as I understand it, is Mirabar, and if once Mirabar falls, to use its great resources to launch a front against Neverwinter. Once Neverwinter falls, Waterdeep. And all the Savage Frontier will be his.
How do you view as a small creature kind exactly?
Small folk?
Small folk, sorry.
My father was very fond of the small folk, as was my mother. Some of us, such as my sisters and the former court sorceress, were less fond.
Mm-hmm.
I had my concerns that the small folk murdered my father. But with Imrith's the reveal of Imrith being my former court sorceress, I no longer believe that.
Interesting. I'm just trying to think to most of the giants how if they believe that small folk are lesser or weak, how a show of force against these types of people would show a strength.
Well, it's not about a show of strength. It's about a miracle. It's about reclamation.
You want the Storm Shores?
I do not want the Sword Coast. I do not want the Storm Shores. I do not want anything. But there are many among our kind who want the restoration of Old Historia. To wipe out the human inhabitants of the Savage Frontier.
Okay.
And establish a giant kingdom.
I see. That's a tall order.
Well, Bryn Shander was annihilated. Golden
It's
Fields.
True. So, Golden Fields was a farming town, but I see what you mean.
An attack on Mirabar would pose an existential threat to the existence of the World Alliance.
Yeah.
Also, Gauntlgrim fell to Zalto, so that is also worth noting.
Do you worry about the small folk turning on you for letting this happen?
In part, yes. I do. There are a great many archmages who live in Waterdeep. Dragons that serve Bahamut allied with them. It would turn into a war unlike any other. It would consume not only Savage Frontier and the Sword Coast, but most of the lands of within the sea. I do want to prevent it, but half of my people support Zalto. The other half either support my father or me. That only leaves me with a quarter.
Right. Do you believe they favor Zalto because of his strength or another reason? Personally, yourself.
They're afraid. The ordning was shattered.
Right.
They think our god abandoned us, and they are scrambling for answers. If we could...
I think this is solved in a very easy but difficult way, and I think you know it as well.
Yes.
But finding him is difficult.
There is one procedural matter we could consider. We could accept Duke Zalto's petition and then settle the matter with a trial by combat. And I would elect you, 5, the Heroes of Triboar, as my champions.
And if we won?
We become...
I would maintain my position as the Storm King.
Can we get timed off? I'm just kidding.
Jesus, I'm sorry. Lord,
Timedoll seems really cool.
Timed in his army of crabs.
I'm afraid no giant would be able to help you. 1 giant is equal to 5 small folk according to the laws of the old ways.
Okay. It's interesting.
4 to 5, depending on your party size.
Dig up the mechanics.
I mean, if that is what it must come to, I suppose it could be an option, but I'm thinking and I'm hoping to not have it get to such point.
I can defend myself while on this throne while you are all away, but I do have to get up and take occasional bathroom breaks. But I cannot always maintain my position on this throne, and I don't know what will happen while you are all gone saving my father. You could come back to the Maelstrom in open rebellion.
All right. If we are able to find him, but he is not the same, what would you have us do?
What do you mean, not the same?
Being held by what we believe to have held him might change him for the worse entirely.
Bring back his body, if you must. If you can, rather.
Right.
If you can't do that, bring back in his ashes or a piece of his bone.
Okay.
We'll make him right one way or the other.
True.
I suppose that's why the Kraken has not killed him. We would just bring him back from the from the dead.
It's fair.
She doesn't know the Kraken's holding him. I suppose that's why this entity who's holding him.
Damn, she's part of it.
No, yeah, she doesn't know yet. I know, she doesn't.
She knows.
I've been rifling through your room, looking at your notes. You didn't see me.
All these details.
Just a cutscene of her just in the room.
16 feet tall. Maybe we can't hear you, honey. Actually muted forever.
I said, did someone say rifling through people's things in their rooms?
That's right.
Oh, true.
True.
The May Classic, true.
The May special.
Well, I mean, we have a greater lead than we did. Thank you for your assistance. Unless we have any other questions, I think that was all we had. The only thing left that I would think might be very useful is, I don't know if you have a magic stone or a way to contact us over long distances that we could use. Oh my god, someone just threw a rock in my window? Sorry.
That's okay. She looks over at Uther. I believe we do have something along those lines.
Yeah, I believe that it would be very good to give you updates and for you to give us updates on each other's progress.
What are those things called? I think it's once per day. Sending stone?
Sending stones, yep.
Sending stones. So yeah, she will give you a one sending stone. She has the other one.
Ginormous.
So once per dawn, you can cast through it. Cool.
Thank you.
She kind of looks at all of you. Wondering if I have any questions for the lot of you.
If you do, please, by all means.
Oh no. Don't ask me a question.
I understand that you defended one of the human cities, Triboar, from a giant onslaught. But why have you pursued this trail? What brought you to Gauntlgrim and then afterwards to Ironslag? Why have you continued to meddle yourself in such a, I don't know, an epic drama?
Because I'm the chosen one, and I don't have a choice.
Yeah, she's the chosen one, and we're the side characters.
She blinks. She says, "Don't be ridiculous."
That's what the hag told me.
True. Don't be true. There.
It turns out that things are connected a lot more than we thought they would be. It poses a threat to things that we very much care about, the safety of our world, our realm, our cities, our forests, everything. It has led us here, and you tell me that Duke Zalto plans to attack Mirabar, the place where I was raised, where my family resides. I think the connections have not stopped.
She looks over at Alyssa. Did you say a hag told you something?
Y'all just listen to a hag like that? Y'all
Yeah.
crazy.
In the woods, we had to find her.
And you built your life around something a hag told you once?
Yeah.
How old are you?
16.
Understood.
Yep, that tracks.
Checks out.
Well then. I'm sorry, what did the hag tell you exactly that compelled you to listen and to continue down this path?
Well, she told us the prophecy.
Which prophecy?
And then everything just started happening. And then so we were like, oh, okay, maybe this is right. And then I had my friends and they were like, oh yeah, all these things are happening. And then Lucius died and then it was like, oh man. And then all these other things started happening. And then we ended up here. Well, we ended up other places first, but there were lots of people along the way.
What were the contents of this prophecy?
Well, I like look at Kaiser and and Zane. Like,
Looks back to Alyssa very...
Yeah, you fold like the lawn chair first. This is on you.
well,
Look back to...
well, there was the prophecy, and she said that I am the sacred child and that I will observe it, and she said that there was 3 hearts. I'm just gonna repeat the prophecy. 3 hearts will be broken when the lovers meet. 3 kings die for the war to be won. A queen shall be crowned. A war will be lost, and another war begun.
Huge. Transition successfully. Huge. Kessa!
Hello.
Yay!
Hello, guys.
The twink is here.
I've arrived. It is me.
Twink's on demand.
It's
You've been
I.
here the entire time. You even did your intro.
I did.
I did. I
In
go.
my intro.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
Good job.
Amazing. Incredible.
How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm tired, dude, but I've been wanting to play all day, and then I got dragged into some stuff. So
Do you want 5
I'm
minutes?
welcomed by this music, man. I don't know.
Do you need 5 minutes to get water or something?
No, I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
fine. I'm
They're-
ready to go.
They're having a small audience with the queen.
Okay, cool. Just don't let me interrupt too much. Let me. I'll catch up by hearing what's happening.
Okay. So she says, "That's quite the prophecy." Did it say that a queen must die, or a queen will be crowned? What was that?
Yes.
She kind of touches her hands to her lips, kind of looks away. Well, you really shouldn't go around building your life around things that strange women tell you in the woods. It's not advisable.
Okay.
Just roll your
Thinking
eyes.
about the voices in her head to tell her to do things, wondering if that's okay to listen to them.
Fuck.
She doubts her very existence, man.
Yeah, existential crisis.
She's like,
Y'all could catch a Casa up while I step away just for a minute, okay? I'll be right back.
okay.
Hey guys, what's going down?
Yeah, so big things here. One, we were talking to the queen here, lady, and
Okay.
we were like, "Yeah, we kind of maybe know where your dad is." She's like, "Sick. You guys should probably do that. I can like stall the moot." I think she said, right? Was some trolling.
Yeah, if there's knowledge that he's alive, then the moot couldn't actually go
Couldn't
through
happen.
because it's only happening
And
with
it's
the
credible
knowledge
because the Allfather said it.
Yeah.
yeah, Oracle,
We asked Dad.
Yeah, Dad said it was okay.
yeah.
And then
And there's go
now you got
ahead. There's the concern that Duke Zalto already has a bunch of power in obviously in the Giants. He's done a lot of favors for them and established alliances through Giants for a very long time now. So it's basically like half of the Giants are on his side, some are on Hekaton's side, some are on Queen Serissa's side. But it's kind of a risky situation to just be like, no, Duke Zalto, bad, because then, well, yeah, that wouldn't really go over well for us. But
So I was gonna
Also-
completely flame him during the trial. So is that a no-go?
flaming him's like okay.
you gotta
Yeah.
tastefully flame him though.
Okay, yeah.
You can't just
Okay.
outflame him.
Because
or
like
he's
I
gonna
just
get
like
kicked out.
I mean I was like hard flaming him the first time he walked in that room.
Yeah.
Talking about, so I was just gonna kind of rehash that again.
Roast him.
Yeah.
There's also knowledge that King or Duke Zalto wants to go kill Mirabar.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us
no
really
one-
care about
yeah.
that. So.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
it's
Neverwinter, and then Waterdeep.
Yeah,
and,
then, like,
you
the
know,
whole
all
Soul
the cities,
Coast.
and, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah, like the whole world as we know it.
established giant
I mean
kingdom again.
Astoria,
Yeah.
one might say.
Hmm.
that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, we're just gonna be
That's super cool.
giants. Yeah.
Giants are cool.
and then we were thinking about the possibility of a dragon resurgence after this is done because the prophecy said 3 kings need to be killed for the war to have won, and Hekaton was on that list. So we assume that Hekaton is maybe corrupted by the Kraken in some sense because being captured by a Kraken could do some fucked up shit to your brain, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we believe we might have to kill him. But the fact if you kill Hekaton and Zalto, which are debatably the strongest giants in the world, how much of a power shift does that make towards the dragons?
Yeah. I mean just kill the dragons too, forehead.
Oh,
forehead.
Oh, okay.
True.
Did no one think of this one? Come on. Come on guys. Slacking.
They also offered we could do a trial by combat against Zalto.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Ah,
haven't
that
done.
worked really well the last
The
time.
first
that
time?
you guys
Yeah,
did
when we were in
it.
like a big giant machine and he's hitting it for like 60 per turn. I was like, really
Well,
good.
that was
Oh.
like he had like a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Unless
I
Kaiser
don't
was a
know.
construct.
I'm built like a house, so
I see.
Also, you can't lie to whoever's sitting on the storm throne thing. FYI.
Yeah, they'll know.
Oh no.
That's fine. I've never lied.
oh, okay.
Okay. I feel caught up. I think we're good. Got
I
it.
can send you my notes as the written TLDR if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Meanwhile, for the 200 bits. And she's taking her turn to kind of ask questions of you. I guess she'll turn to you, Casa, or excuse me, Lucius, and say, "You there? You've been awfully quiet. Do you have anything else to add?"
Yeah, they've already told you about Hekaton, I suppose, and
They did.
I
But
had mentioned
they left out the
briefly.
nature of his disappearance.
Well, the nature of it. I mean, I have a hunch, but this one we can't prove immediately. It does seem, or at least it would seem, that there was treachery from your daughters, and they conspired with
sisters,
Emira.
sisters, and sisters.
Sisters. Sisters,
God.
you're right, yeah. Ooh, Monka.
W.
Sisters, don't worry. Sisters.
Keep going, brother.
With your sisters. And they seem to conspire with the dragon Emirith.
Yes, that has been one of the more upsetting revelations. And I'm beginning to wonder how she lied to me while I sat on this very throne.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Emirith is a powerful caster, but of course, as I had mentioned previously, I can track her down at any given time.
That is extraordinary. And how did you come by this power?
Well, you see, I'm dead. I'm a revenant.
Ah,
Yeah, Alyssa did say you died, so somewhere in that rambling she did.
she looks over at Imperator Uther. That's fascinating. You're a revenant?
Well, I suppose so.
In service of the Raven Queen?
No. Service of an archfey.
You all are a very active bunch. You live very exciting lives.
Yes, well, there are a few that must die for my vengeance to be complete, but Emirith is one of them. And she seems to be the most pressing one of them.
Taking on the doom of the desert. That's a lot to ask.
Certainly so. But if it helps us find the Storm King and stop Duke Zalto, it's something that must be done.
My hope is that you can reclaim King Hekaton and take on Imrith with him.
That would be ideal.
So, what do you want to do about the moot, Heroes of Triboar? How do you want to proceed?
We want to say our piece.
See it, none of these who are searching for the crown are worthy. You yourself I don't know well enough to claim one way or the other, of course. But you are the daughter of King Hekaton, so I assume that would give you much more of a reason to become the next Storm Queen. But I definitely think Zalto is worthless.
That may be how you feel, but it is not how many giants feel in this time. So,
Well, that's where the problem comes into play then, doesn't it? Because just because I can display facts and evidence doesn't mean that they would accept that if they so blindly support him. So now I'm coming in late. She had mentioned potentially being able to delay.
yep, delay.
Yeah, so if you said that you could delay this moot, I mean, the Hekaton's return would obviously spell the end for Zalto, at least in his running, I would assume.
If he returned in a timely manner, yes. If you took too long reclaiming him, I don't know how long I can hold Zalto off. Every day in this hold, things become more tense. But if you
Well,
were,
what
if
do
the
you
five
all
of you
think?
were able to kill Zalto and end it here, then we could focus our efforts into reclaiming my father.
And would he accept a challenge 1v?
Yeah,
Five?
they stated that small folk to giant ratio is 5-1, depending on a venturing team.
Yeah.
So
4 to 6 technically, and then I'll adjust the CR. Anyway, we only have 5 players. She says he has to, but that would mean that we accept his petition, and then we challenge it.
Yeah. So there's no going back if we lose. He becomes king.
Yes. The end of the campaign.
Well, the roll next one.
Or we can delay, and I can maybe hold him off. But if I don't, and he claims the Wormskull throne and the Wormskull scepter, and the Hall of the Storm Giant hold, I don't know what that would mean for the small folk.
How many giants will be in this mood participating? Is it a wide audience of many, or just representatives?
For the voting members, there will be one from each society, plus what are known as vassals. So,
You all think we can beat Zalto, or do we need to do this with words?
I think words are a strength here. If we have to defeat Zalto
Let me count the numbers here.
with arms, if it comes to that, then I suppose we must, but I don't think that should be the leading choice.
Yeah,
Where did we
got a
fight him?
couple giant slaying bolts still available.
Queen, sorry.
yes,
Where would we fight Zalto if that were to come to that?
we have an arena.
Is it underwater?
Well, technically yes, but if you mean you would be swimming, the answer is no.
Matthew, would we be inhibited by water during
No.
this fight?
You would not be doing half
would
damage
just-
and shit. God, that'd
Just
be brutal.
Yeah, I'd be like, there's no way, guys, we can't do that.
Absolutely worthless. No. It's much like now. Like you're not swimming right now. You're just in a surface.
I'm
You're under
imagining lightning ring-esque, Tim.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah. I just want to make sure because we cannot beat
A
him
big
underwater.
dude in
No
an
way.
arena.
Yeah. If Duke Zalto were to cheat during a arena, would it be an instant forfeit?
Yeah, define cheating.
Say, what are the rules of an arena fight? Are you allowed to leave the arena?
No, you have to stay within the arena. You
If
can't-
someone else enters the arena, say a fire giant, would he fail as well?
Yes, it's only the participants of the challenge. You could use whatever items, magics, anything. If there is any sort of outside interference detected, and I will preside over it on my throne, and the throne kind of hovers, lifts off the ground when she says that. If I detect anything of the sort, Imperator Uther, Tyndall, and all of his crabs will intervene.
If Duke also lies to you, do you know?
He has chosen his words carefully, but no, he is not a powerful sorcerer enough to be able to lie to me on this throne.
Is the throne present in the mood?
Yes, of course. As far as I know, Imrith is the only one capable of lying to the person who sits on this throne. That's likely because the throne uses some form of dragon magic.
Duke Zalto had some part in this plan of the Imrith and Miran and Nim conspiracy, right? Turning to everybody else in the party.
I mean, it's highly likely, yes.
It's likely, but he also might just be capitalizing on the situation.
Suppose we can find that out for sure tomorrow.
Well, seeing as how there was the blue Draco, that's the...
Not a good god.
Draco Lich? You mean a
monk?
Abyssite?
A monk, a W.
Abyssite, yeah.
Aegir was a Draco.
Abyssite.
Not Abyssite.
Draco Lich book ass.
No, not Draco Lich. I thought there was something like a Draco Lith but that's a different thing, I think, also entirely. So Abyssai, yeah, there's a blue Abyssai at Zolto's court. So I mean, it does seem as though he is somewhat connected to dragons. Mirith being a blue dragon, it's probably unlikely that it's purely coincidence.
It's possible the gear was there not with Zalto per se as well.
I mean, there was the point where he yelled, "Oh, Duke Zalto, your enemies are over here." So I mean,
Fair.
But he was in disguise.
For his benefit.
It wasn't this. And then
he was in disguise, of course.
Eventually, he was like, screw it, and turned
Well,
into.
his mask got ripped off by
true.
your
Yeah.
mother. Your mother did like 97 points of
Yeah.
damage to him.
Fakered on.
Yeah. Looking.
Could say it is likely that he is with them, but at the same time, it could just been capitalizing on the situation.
I don't think we can bring it up first.
Why not?
I think we use it to counter, because if Duke Zalto is smart, he would bring up that Imarith was in the Queen's Council this entire time.
Is that... I mean, I suppose that is in his benefit, saying the Storm
Yes.
Giants are not to be,
Not to be
trusted.
trusted. Yeah.
And then we... you are saying at that point, then we counter
Then
by
we counter
asking
with-
if he has any knowledge of what has happened there. If he had any involvement in it.
Yes. It's a dangerous
does not-
subject to bring up, but we should bring up ours after he brings up his.
What if he does not bring it up on his own side?
Well, then that is fine, I believe. Because it is mainly a word against word, and if he words well enough, then it's hard to actually get him on it.
I think it is probably one of the most not sure things, but one of potentially the most persuasive things that we could have against the giants. The fact that Duke Zalto was actively working against them, plotting with dragons who we know have no good relationship with giants.
And but there is also the possibility he did not know.
There is, but we can confirm that. It does not harm us, I don't think, to just figure that out.
But if we start it and we are wrong, then he brings up Imarith. It is very bad for us.
Is it?
Of course, the whole situation is already bad, but it cannot get better with the Storm Giants being colluded with Imarith. Right. I believe is a subject we do not bring up unless already brought up.
Yeah, but doesn't it just help us cast suspicion against the sisters, though, and not Serissa? Since
It
they
doesn't
obviously
matter.
would have been upset that they weren't the heirs, and Hekaton named Serissa the heir instead of them. That's not a hard conclusion to jump to. That they would be upset and therefore willing to do anything to claim the throne that they thought was theirs.
Serissa speaks up and says, "They might also say I was incompetent, that I could not see a dragon by my side. It is a rather upsetting detail."
Yes, it's a very bad subject to bring up.
So, these are your three options. We delay the vote by pronouncing King Hekaton well and alive and begin the search for him. And I pray that you all make it back in time with my father before I lose control of the hold. We accept the vote of King Hekaton dead in Azantia and accept the petition from Duke Zalto, where then we challenge him to a trial by combat, or we accept the petition and you attempt to testify against him. Now, the way I see it, the votes are going to be yay from the fire giants, yay from the cloud giants, yay from the cold frost giants,
Hill
yay
giants?
from the hill giants, maybe.
It's maybe, yeah.
and
If
a
he
maybe
lets
from the cloud.
if he lets
Or excuse
Zug
me,
die under
maybe
his
from the
control,
stone.
that could show his incompetence towards the hills.
Yes. So a maybe from the hill, a maybe from the stone, and a no from the storm.
That is all you need to be king.
He has 3 votes. He only needs one more. And we need to flip both of them in order to have a draw.
I'm surprised. Why would the culture? Why would the Ice Giants be like that?
Because he got him the Ring of Winter.
Yeah, but even if you, the Ring of Winter corrupts you.
The Frost Giants don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care, you don't care. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Jarl Storvold may not understand that yet.
True.
Yeah. He got him the one thing that they've wanted for generations.
All right.
There is also the matter on the table of if it is possible to force or at least agree to a sort of a ceasefire between the giants and the small folk cities. I think that is something to also, maybe we don't reach a conclusion there, but at least think about how that can be done.
Yes, we can have that as a procedural matter, but again, it's 4 versus 2.
Of course. I mean,
We can also delay, and I can just issue a decree, but that's probably going to upset quite a few of the people in this hold.
Personally, I believe we do not have enough, I'll say, for lack of a better word, dirt on Zalto to turn any of the clans that are with him against him currently. So I believe that option is the riskiest of them all. In terms of success?
I don't think it's a lack of dirt. I think it's a lack of the other giants caring.
Seeing it as
It
dirt.
seems he has too many of them in his pocket.
In his pocket, yeah.
They don't even care that he's lost the Vondendad, that he failed to defeat a couple of small folk.
Papagas.
And it's coming from small folk.
He allowed a
not
chief
care about all
god
this.
to die in combat that he was there and could have protected her with teleportation of the conch. He almost let Countess Sensori die.
You may be able to use that against him. You may win the argument. I'm sure they haven't heard your side yet.
Yeah, but Countess Sensori was there.
She is very duplicitous. I've known her my whole life. If she sees the tide turning against him in the moot, she would likely flip. But she has to see the tide turning.
She'll launch her. She folds.
Yep.
Alright.
She goes where the wind blows. She's a cloud giant.
Damn, alright. Some bullshit, Matt. In Hekaton.
She says, do you have any other questions? I really should get some sleep for the moot tomorrow. Whatever it is we all decide to do.
Do you worry about the dragons after this is finished?
Yes. I'm terrified. Imrith has been to the Maelstrom. I can't fight her. I don't even want to stand up and leave this throne. I don't want to go to sleep. I don't want to close my eyes, but... what else am I supposed to do?
I just think that... the dragons are just... I feel like there's something going on, and they're getting a lot of space to do as they please, and it's a worrying thought.
Something to worry about
Yeah.
after we deal with all this.
Let's worry about dragons like next week, Kaiser, and worry about giants today.
Save the dragon stuff for chapter 12.
Alright.
Honestly believe that we could convince any of these other giants in the moot?
It's a steep hill to climb, but at least 2 of you are rather persuasive.
Okay, so
A couple of you are very...
So, Kaiser, please don't say any more words. Save your breath.
A couple of you are very sharp, And one of you reminds me of the way the stone giants talk, and she looks over at Alyssa. When they're lost in dreams for infinity and beyond.
Not me, not me.
It's I think all three choices are incredibly difficult. but meaningful. No, all three choices are incredibly difficult. But
what do you want to do?
Regardless, I'm thinking a lot about the fact of bringing up the dragon interference here. Even if the worst case scenario where Duke Zalto proves that he was not affiliated with it and it looks negatively upon you, there's still the matter that the moot can be postponed even still, right? If they are to respect the customs of the giants.
Yes, the moot can be postponed.
And they might be more unhappy with it, but...
And it might lead to open rebellion. And a civil war within this very stronghold. I'm certain you encountered the tension between some of our guards. We've tried to pair them by their coalition and allegiances. It's exhausting. For every guard I think is on my side, for every guard I think is on Zalto's side, I pair them with one of them that's on my side to keep watch. Spies and informants.
Delaying the mooters until Hekai will be able to find Hekaton and release them from the Kraken in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's the problem.
At a certain point, doesn't it just sound easier to kill Duke Zalto?
Yeah, that's what I think is probably the easiest option.
Like, that's kind of where we're at.
I mean, comparatively,
Kraken Duke Zalto.
Like, I've talked my way out of a lot of things. I felt like in our last meeting before, or immediately after Emir left, Duke Zalto got frustrated. I can go through the same things we talked about there, but in front of the throne, prove I'm not lying. And we can try our best, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to listen, if they don't care, which is entirely possible, we just are gonna have to slay a giant, and we might need to start thinking of our strategy.
Also, even if you do refute his case, I mean, he's still alive. He still has all of his armies.
he could just take the kingdom by force if he really wants to.
I mean, he'd probably be banished from the Maelstrom, but he'd still be the Savage Frontier's problem.
Right.
So he's gonna have to die regardless.
He has to be dealt with in some way.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to die
Imprisoned.
regardless.
We do have a flask.
He's not an elemental.
It real feels like it when I look at him.
That's potentially problematic.
No, I don't know.
Believe
You're
hard
made
enough.
of fire. It's like a 50-50.
That's yeah.
We want to risk it all on a 50-50.
No, it's not a 50-50.
Sorry, I just caught up to that conversation. Yeah, it's 100% he's not an elemental, actually. 100% I'm sorry.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah,
Making sure. Now for the Kraken one, there are two routes that are. One is easier than the other, but there are two routes that could go. One, we would need to kill a Kraken, then kill Duke Zalto if he is corrupted enough, or somehow try to bring him back.
It's also not 100% we have to kill the Kraken. The Kraken will
That
be
is
holding.
the second option. Is we make a deal or some other way to not have to deal with the Kraken and get him back, one way or another.
Don't we know the Kraken?
Yeah, Phil?
We know. We know the eye of the Kraken, right?
Mm-hmm.
The voice
Don't-
of the Kraken, I think.
The voice, yeah.
Voice of the Kraken.
One of the senses of the Kraken.
See no
Ears
evil.
of the Kraken.
Yeah.
I believe you did learn the Kraken's name, because I remember
Yeah, we
fumbling
did,
on
we
how
did,
to
we did.
pronounce it.
Slarkathel.
Slarkathon.
The Iron Flask can actually trap any creature.
Let's go! I knew it.
If the target is native to a plane of existence other than the one you're on.
Fire plane? Nope.
He might be.
Who knows?
But
Let's
then,
use it on the Kraken.
It's a 50-50.
50-50.
there's Magira to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be,
Yeah.
Could be something you try.
That's a good point. If we catch him like a Pokemon, does that mean we win?
I can't wait for Kaiser to walk up with the flask. I used the flask of iron on Duke Zalto, but it failed.
But it failed.
There's a time and place for everything.
Nani?
Yeah, so I mean, the more I think about it, the more us challenging Zaltos feels like the
Easiest.
best idea, and I don't like that is the answer that I'm coming to.
Unless we have
It's
something.
the best of the worst of the worst.
Is there something we could give a Kraken?
God, no.
if
Don't even
if
try.
this is
The flask?
if challenging Duke Zalto is the best of what we have, then we might as well try everything on our arsenal in terms of diplomacy first, right? Because if it fails, then we can just challenge him after.
If we go to the normal trial, do we still have the option to challenge him if it's failing?
Nope. It's either trial by combat or trial. Can't do both.
There we are.
This
Because
is
the trial
that shit
trial
don't
would
make
be-
no sense in Game of Thrones. You can't just at the end of a trial issue a fucking decree of trial by combat. That's not how trials work. Dumbass producers and writers. Anyway. It'd be like asking for binding arbitration after the jury's already about to issue a thing. Anyway.
Is the moat itself a trial, or is it just say our piece on things and then trial?
It is a testimony and a meeting. It is, I mean, in order you can't try the case of Zalto and then do a trial by combat. It's one or the other. Like when the petition's accepted, it's then what kind of trial does the throne want to have?
Yeah. Or the trial economy is broken. Because you would just do that every time.
Correct. You would always try your case and then just try
Then
to
just
resolve
fight him afterwards. You fucking
Correct,
Yeah.
which is dumb and shouldn't have happened in season 4 of Game of Thrones, season 5.
True.
Okay, glad we're all on the same page.
My vote. I don't like voting on these.
Well, what does this fight against Zolto look like? We've got 2 bolts
Maybe.
set to slay giants for Aubrey. She can put out a lot of damage. How long can we keep him occupied?
I try my best. I mean, I'm sure there's not many people could give us in the Giant Kings that wouldn't count as collaboration. No,
Correct.
I have that wand still.
the thunder wand.
The lightning bolts one.
You do remember he was resistant
Yeah.
to lightning.
Oh yeah,
I was
never
gonna say,
mind.
it seemed as though he wasn't much bothered by the lightning.
He can give
I
a
wish I
fuck.
had my steak
But we
still.
have it.
Yeah, you sure do have it.
Sure have it, guys.
I have it.
Huge. You could try fireballing him.
Huge.
It's funny use a fire giant. Could use like
So if he
gunpowder.
gets really scared and runs out of the arena, does it count as a win?
That's a good question.
She looks at you. She's like, "It's not really possible to run out of the arena."
Ah,
Bit large.
Okay.
See? I mean, we could try.
if you frighten him, technically he's frightened the entire time because you can't leave your range or your sight. That's how the arena works.
Don't know what the arena looks like. So
Yeah, true.
True. I guess there could just be pillars everywhere.
I have
be
so
like
many
a-
choices on the arena. I'm
An
picking one
obstacle
out.
course.
Yeah, we really.
The bounce house.
What if we did know it was a trial by combat? It's like trial by cooking competition.
Oh my god, that'd be best.
That'd be badass. That'd be so good.
Floor routine.
Yeah,
True.
I'm
Date
looking
is
at
probably made crap.
I'm looking at the Coliseum maps by Shea Piku, and there's so many good choices, y'all. Y'all want to fight in? Do y'all want to fight underwater? Because I can do that.
As
No.
long as it doesn't give us like a disadvantage, sure.
No, you die.
Oh,
We drown mid fight.
Just instant.
It's like an Aquaman. That's what I'm thinking of when you say underwater.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, they have like a underwater duel. They have this literal happen in Aquaman underwater.
Don't tell people where I cribbed it from, May. Goddamn.
But if they win, they get to become king. Whereas
Lord of the Sea.
we kind of just are winning for him not to be king.
Correct.
What if I want to be queen of the Storm Giants?
Well, we won't be because there already is a queen. And
I'm
technically-
pretty sure we established the last time we killed the king of the giants that you become the king of the giants.
That is not how it worked the first time. That's not how it's working this time.
Huge.
I don't know.
Even
Someone
in Cass's
died thinking he
campaign,
was
that's not
king
how
of the
that
giants.
works.
Huge. Actually huge.
They literally said, "Get out." You've bad enough. Killed our king.
Get out. Get out, they said. I do have a couple really cool water ones. It's kind of cool.
My vote
How
is
about over a
to
lava
fight
pit?
Zalto. I don't think we have anything that is worthwhile enough to trade to a Kraken for the king.
Yeah. Trading with the Kraken is probably not going to happen.
Even if it is something well enough that he would trade a king of the Storm Giants for, it might bring other problems unforeseen.
Any of y'all got a +1 crossbow?
Huge! I've done my other campaign.
You bet, go damn.
Server transfer, like other characters. Rashawn in here.
There it is. That's the ticket. That's how you make money at tabletop streaming.
Self-serve.
Paid character transfer. Huge.
Cash shop's always zippy.
Man, can we just get
Dice
this one for
priority
here, or
coin.
what?
Priority coin.
Sure.
Fucking bot. But yeah, hell yeah, monetize this shit. Oh god.
I know a paladin we should
Yeah, I know a paladin with a +3 sword that we should get in here. That's 2d10.
What's a
radiant
character
damage.
transfer go for these days? $25?
25 bucks, yep.
Huge.
Check your PayPal.
I don't have to. I never have to work again. Huge.
Okay. Alyssa, do you have a vote?
I mean, I really wanted to meet a Kraken, but
You don't want
I
to.
guess we're killing Zalto.
Really don't.
We still have to deal with the Kraken later.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
we would.
But with Zalto out of the way, at least we'll have a bit more time to do that.
We'll have way more time, technically.
Giants and Krakens and dragons, oh my.
Oh, yep. As soon as you said the first one, I knew it was gonna happen.
I vote for taking out Zalto. We have to do it at some point. He's going to continue to threaten
The lives of
everything.
small folk, as they say.
I know we have been sort of running at lots of our problems head first, but I mean, I was born among politics, raised among politics and courts. I think that is
Yes.
still my preference to
Right.
do this in a diplomatic way. But if we feel as though we must, then so be it.
How confident are you that you can do this? It would be you and Lucius mainly talking here, so how confident are you two that you can win this?
I believe with enough preparation, we could at least make it so that
Because I am definitely
they
down
may be forced to
reschedule.
postpone in the worst circumstance.
I think I would destroy him at trial and we'd still lose.
That's what I'm scared of.
That's my opinion of it. I think that Zane and I would win, theoretically. We would be able to have the better points to show them the weakness of Zolta. But I feel we'd still lose.
Why?
I feel the fact that Sensory and the Jarl still give their vote to Zalto after bearing witness to what happened does not bode well for us.
One defeat after numerous successes. I mean, if there are people that take away their support after that, then they are not very loyal in the first place. I mean, what we could do to them in court, the doubt we could cast, the points we have to bring up, I think is much more impactful than just one defeat.
I can see this point. I would argue this one defeat was more significant than a standard defeat. To spend all that time creating the Vondendad only to lose it to small folk the instant it's finished. This is a point we can continue to leverage. And we would continue to leverage. The fact that they don't know where it is.
The pressures that are put on in a court or a moot setting in this case with your peers around definitely ring to have more impact than if it were to just be those who are at Iron Slags. They now have to think about the ramifications of their actions, Duke Zalto's actions, in front of those who oppose them.
I'm down to try. I stand with you.
My argument for just doing the trial by combat is that even if we succeed, and I do believe that you both could succeed in convincing them at a trial to turn against Zalto, he's still a threat. He is still something that has to be dealt with afterwards. He's not going to just disappear. It will be much harder to take him on when he has an army of giants on his back than here and now in an arena 5v1.
It does not have to be. If Hekaton is found, could be a lot easier.
I mean, can we find him in time before Zalto can go and start attacking cities?
I don't know.
Where would he go first?
Nearby.
Nearby.
1,200 giants.
Are you willing to risk Mirbar, Zane?
Well, I mean,
What it
We are
comes
risk-
down
if we
to.
fail at
We
any
are
of them,
risking,
we are risking.
yeah, we are risking Nearby either way. It
No
just
matter
depends
what we
on
do.
which one do we think is going to have the most chance of success. We have taken on many things head on, but Duke Zalto, I don't know.
I guess the argument at that point is just win or lose our argument. It's likely Zalto marches on Mirabar.
We probably die after we lose, no? Why would he not just order us to be killed right there? We know where the Vonendad is. Why would he not just kill us?
Because we know where the Vondendad is?
If we lose the trial,
I don't
are you
see
saying?
why he wouldn't just kill us or at least torture us for the information.
There is still the matter of Hekaton being alive, so even if we are to try to persecute Duke Zalto, it doesn't just mean that he just can be king, right?
No, that's exactly what it means, actually. Because
Yes,
we'd be accepting the trial, accepting the petition, and
Mhm.
Okay.
agreeing
Yes.
that Hekaton is dead.
I see.
So losing this argument puts a crown on Zolto's head.
Okay.
And I just think who is the person who has caused the most problems for Duke Zalto in recent times? And it is us.
Yeah, of course. Unless it is... No, it's probably us, yeah.
It is
Well, it's definitely you.
definitely us.
You took his toy.
Yeah, I feel like no matter if we fail at any of these, we die, one way or another. So you need to be dead certain that that is a victory condition.
Is that an attempt at a joke, Kaiser?
Yes.
I see.
Did
Very
it
well.
work? Trying to levy the situation.
Wasn't your worst.
We take those.
Well, it's either we talk or we fight.
Or we find something that is worth trading.
I don't believe the Kraken is an option. Not in the time that we have.
If the Queen was able to give us something that we could trade, it might be a viable option, but nothing we have is worth.
She says the only thing he wants is this throne.
The Kraken?
No, I thought you were talking about Zalto.
No, Kraken.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Kraken
give the
wants
Kraken
the
the
throne.
throne.
We can give him the
The
throne.
Kraken probably wants the throne too. Everyone, it's a very legendary, powerful throne.
I don't think they'll give him the throne.
If you tell me if a Kraken rolled up in here, you wouldn't just give him the throne.
No, she'd fight him from the world.
They would, yeah.
Seems like this would be good odds for them to actually beat a Kraken if he just
Yeah.
rolled up in here.
Yeah, that throne's got a lot of things it can do. Okay, it's stacked.
All right, so kill Zalto, become Queen of the Giants
Nope.
for the crown, for the throne.
No.
Good plan.
That
Nope.
works.
No.
Okay, so it looks like we have 3 for Kill Zalto, 1 for negotiate, and then myself.
I am viable to fold like a lawn chair, so
And I will stand with Zane if we are going to negotiate, and I will stand with you all if we are going to fight.
I weighed our chances at winning in a fight where we are not inhibited by water in an arena of a size befitting a giant. Chances of winning versus Zalto. The items he has. Anywhere, depending on how it works before the fight, how you're willing to prepare before a fight. If
That was
he's
it.
able to,
No, continue.
if he's able to prepare enough before a fight in terms of magic items and spells, a chance at winning is within the 30%.
Oh, that high.
33.3 repeating, of course.
We surprise him tomorrow with it. Is it possible to hold the
The fight, like,
fight
I challenge you to a
immediately,
duel right
so he
now
has
at
no
here,
time to prepare?
3 p.m. at the flagpole.
I don't feel as though he's going to have that many spells to cast. He seemed to
No,
be...
that's my problem.
Okay.
Other people. If other people are allowed to cast spells on him before a fight, that reduces our chance of winning by a lot. Say 5 people concentrating on spells on top of him, we would lose a lot.
Isn't
of
that
the
against the rules of the fight?
time. I just don't know. the
Should be
rules.
based on the explanation.
Based on the explanation, that wouldn't be allowed.
That'd be outside help, which is not allowed.
Technically, if you were given a magic item, that is outside help too.
Here's the
Yeah.
bishop.
What are the chances that Duke Zalto is able to cheat in a way you're not able to detect?
Even if we can't detect it, the
That's what I mean.
Sarissa
the
should
queen
be
is
able
not
to.
be able to. That
I
is
don't
fine.
think he can. She's pointed out that only Amirith has been able to do this
What if
under the
it
radar.
helps?
How would she help? I
And
know where
wouldn't
she
we
is at
know?
all time.
yeah.
Well, you didn't know she was there beforehand, no?
I knew the instant she arrived.
Did she teleport outside the door then enter?
Yes.
Seems like weirdly odd, dramatic entrance. Teleport outside the
Dragon.
door then enter.
Dragon.
She was
Dragon.
summoned via, I believe it was a sending spell. They asked her to come. She arrived.
As long as we know where she is, we shouldn't have to worry about it.
She's not going to return while I'm here.
Assuming that Emerith is not able to help, Duke Zalto cannot cheat, and those spells are being able to be used upon him before the fight, our chances at winning are around 60%.
Wow, that's so much higher this time.
That's like incredibly high, actually. If that's where we think our odds are at, then we should just be taking this fight. I think there's.
If I calculate how this fight could go, I believe it is around 60%.
Well,
Do you know what happens during that 40%?
we'll
What?
die.
He kills Lucius knowing his fire weakness, and he's able to kill Aubrey. That is how we lose in the 40%.
Well, I mean, if we want to figure out how to fight him, like, we can. But then we just need to prepare for that. We need to decide. Are we preparing for a
I have a potion of fire resistance. I'm not worried about fire.
same?
I believe all of us have one still.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're well equipped. Though I'm not against Zane's idea of negotiation. If you
I'm not
believe our
either.
chances are this high, then this seems even better than that. There is not the variable of the giants being stubborn.
Queen, sorry,
is
we're
a
all
fight.
just talking in front of you kind of awkwardly.
Jesus, that's okay.
If you had to give a percent for the Cloud Giantess to switch sides, what would you give? As you know her the best.
What's 2 out of 7?
Not good. Like 37?
20, I'd give it about a 28% chance.
28. That's what you got. That's what you got.
So we fight.
Alright.
Yeah, we have to fight. The Kraken one is interesting because the only thing that we have worthwhile to give is the flask.
I don't know if the Kraken wants the flask for the actual Storm King, though.
No, it would just be, I believe, if we are able to teleport. No, it's probably anti-magic. Yeah. It is the percentage of having something willing to trade is very low, but if we are able to get something willing to trade, our chance of success are very high.
Do you have time to rest before this fight? Or did we already rest?
We have time to rest.
You
It
will
is tomorrow.
be able
Take
to
a
rest.
long rest. As the moot is tomorrow, and it is currently night.
So, we fight. Do we hope for the best?
Fight.
I can write up a strategy.
Strategy
tonight.
guide.
Yeah, strategy guide to Duke Zalto.
What's up, guys? It's Kaiser here, back with another guy.
Back with another video. We know about this game, Raid Shadow Legends.
What just happened?
Hit
Go
that
old
follow
school.
button. Ring that bell.
Go old school and have strategy guides. You gotta have a magazine. There you go.
Oh no. Okay. We've chosen. Thank you for your help, Queen.
So what was the choice?
We are to fight Zalto.
Her eyes kind of widen. Do you really think you can do it?
if we have enough will, we can do it. That is how small folk live.
We'll have to fight him at some point. Better to do it now, 5-on-1, instead of when he has a bunch of giants with him.
Defeating him in the arena would shatter his coalition.
We don't need to kill him in the arena, right? He just needs to
No.
surrender.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would prefer him not to be killed.
Why?
Kind of looks out like the small window out into the storm. It's raging.
It's interesting.
I'm not a murderer.
I'll believe her for now.
Kaiser will remember
Insight
this.
check.
Oh, it has been called. The insight check has been cast.
Go ahead there, Zaid.
17.
It's not bad.
She is definitely conflicted, and there's probably part of this that she's not saying. That you get there's sensors more to it, but that is her sentiment. She does. That's how she feels. She doesn't have a taste for violence.
Okay.
As long as he surrenders, then he won't die.
Okay. Well then. Imperator Uther, prepare the arena. Tomorrow we accept the petition and
Do battle.
do battle. Good night, heroes. She gets up and she just goes straight to her room. Door slamming.
Damn.
Imperator Uther
Good night. Oh,
pushes past
Goodbye.
you.
Goodbye, Uther. Bye, Uther. Say bye back.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. We walk out. Awkwardly leave.
I guess we should go sleep then?
Yes. If we are to defeat the Fire Giant King, we would need the rest, all the rest we could get.
yeah.
I will write, and then I shall go to sleep.
So you got first watch then, Kaiser?
We watching? Do you think we'll be killed in the night?
My,
Yeah.
maybe.
Dragons
Lucius will be
able
awake
to
the entire
teleport.
time.
Yeah.
I'll be awake.
Oh, that's true.
True.
He's, you know,
Yep, always watching. Smile.
kind of weird.
It's a bit rude, Kaiser.
Yeah, it's pretty insensitive. I'm sorry.
Too soon.
Is it? How long's it been?
3 days.
Quite aware my situation's rather weird, but
It's
pointing
been
it
a
out
while.
like that is
Pretty insensitive.
He's been dead for a
Like-
few weeks.
if you phrased it as some kind of joke or roast, would have accepted it, but kind
Just
of calling
weird.
me weird straight out is it's a little bit much, honestly.
It's kind of a roast if you think about it.
You know, I thought we were good enough friends. You put a
Oh,
little more
here we
effort
go.
into it.
Here we go. Here we go.
So you will all be able to successfully complete a long rest if you so choose.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay!
Rested.
Yay.
Level 10.
No.
That would increase our chance to like 75.
It would help considerably, which is why you're not level 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Checks out.
Okay. Well then. Is there anything else anyone wishes to do?
Like, I really want to go steal the Ring of Winter, but I'm not going to go steal the Ring of Winter.
You
Yeah,
are
just a-
welcome to try.
Like, you know, I don't think I have the means. I think Lucius realizes he doesn't have the means to do that, so
Should make
Probably
sure
not gonna try.
you pick your spells that are not fire damage.
Yeah, remember, Sorcerer Bards, you have spell versatility.
Fire damage, we casted lightning on him and know he's lightning resistant, so we know those two. Probably non-magical weapons are a bust.
He's super, effective. Water is super effective against him.
Yeah, I learned that in Pokemon too.
I mean, water would not be ineffective.
Aren't we fighting in water?
No.
no.
Nope.
How many times
How
are we
many
going to
times
go
do
over
you
this?
have- you know,
Wait, we're not? Where are we fighting?
Oh my
You're
God.
underwater
Jesus.
in an arena, but it's in a structure. I don't even
It's
know.
like in the
actually-
air bubble?
Honestly, it's not even an air bubble. Actually, it's probably older than that.
Well,
It's
that's
probably not
weird.
even underwater now that I'm looking at now that I've picked out a map.
Is it that far down? Wait, are we not underwater? Wait, where are we?
You
We're
are
in the
underwater.
center of the earth, and there's dinosaurs.
You're gonna be teleported to an ancient and old arena that's used to settle these disputes among all giant kind. Not used since the days of oldest story. You want to see a preview of it?
Sure.
Okay.
Show me a preview. Then I'll stop
Next
saying it's
time
underwater.
on Big Boy Season.
Correct. There you go. There's a preview of your
Huge.
map.
I don't see any water, so it's not underwater.
It's like, next time on Big Boy Season. What do you mean you didn't see me there with that ice knife? It's like the 4th time!
Natural one against the enemy. Kaiser fails the saving throw. The May classic. The Alyssa classic. Okay, well,
It's
if there-
underwater.
yeah, it's super underwater. There's actually a version with like Kraken tentacles. There's a water version. There's a Maelstrom version. There's literally a version that's just covered in fire. I'm like, that would be the ticket. You guys take fire damage every round.
And he's just chilling. Dude, just
Heals.
lose. That makes it like 0% win, right?
The fucking dick move. Oh god. So anyway, and that map is by Shepiku on Patreon. Check them out. They are Brazilian socialist and map maker. Wonderful, wonderful person. Okay, so if there is nothing else, then we will go ahead and call that there as you all rest and try to quell your anxieties as you go up against the warmonger Duke Zalto, a legendary warrior who, when confronted with the Death Titan, resurrected
Beat its
after
ass.
10,000 years, looked at it and went, okay.
What?
You didn't give us many good choices, or any good choices.
I
They
gave
were
you three
all
very
great
hard-
choices.
Yeah, three
just
very
all
difficult
sucked.
choices. They were all of equivalent difficulty, all with their own different outcomes. You were fucking welcome.
Yeah, it was great. They all sucked in the best way.
Yeah.
It all blew. It was like, damn it, I don't want to do any of it, but I also want to do all of them.
And I want to fight a Kraken.
Well, maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Since we
Well-
win this.
My name's Tom. I was here now at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I played Kaiser, the drow fighter who is thinking about how we'll win this with 60% chance to win. We'll see. My real name is Tom. I think I said that already, but I'll say it again. Tom Stewart Hots at places everywhere online. I don't know.
Everywhere.
I'm T Money 3398625 on Google, or what is it? Xbox Play or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it made my account name. So
Mhm.
Yikes.
in case you want to play Sea of Thieves, that's what that is. That's it. Faye can go next.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Hello, I'm Faye. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at It's Faye, where I do TFT stuff and D&D stuff and stuff. And yeah, I played Aubrey Harper, and it was fun. I mean, it was kind of the entire session was my favorite part. It was just one long discussion about how interesting a situation we found ourselves in and how we can get out of it. For Aubrey's point of view, Zalto's got to go, right? Like, there's no way like around it, So even if we like succeed with the trial of like talking him through, like he's still a threat. So we're gonna have to fight him one way or the other. In her eyes.
He has to be dealt with.
Yeah. Hey, Casanova, you were here the entire session. What's up?
Yes, I am Casanova, and I was here the whole time. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Casanova Hots, where I do a lot of Legends of Runeterra content, primarily casting tournaments. But yeah, my favorite part was being here the entire time. That was my favorite thing. No, I just think I love when Matt gives us these choices that they just suck, but I love having to make them because they all sound really fun, and that's probably what makes it really hard because they all sound great. So then it just comes down to trying to figure out what our characters would do, and that can be hard sometimes. But I'm glad that we have these opportunities to actually think through, and it doesn't seem like one choice is just the obvious one. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Crowan can go next.
Hello, it me. My name's Crowan. Find me on Twitch and Twitter at Crowan. Do a bunch of TFT stuff. Favorite part, I think, was when Alyssa said that she was the chosen one. Think that about did it for me. Yeah, I mean, also super interesting. I think Zane's internally a little conflicted because he's like, wait, I'm good at talking diplomacy politics, but also is like, he's enjoying himself being an adventurer and like fighting things. So he's like, wait a minute, maybe, but talking though. But it is a very complex situation. So we'll see how it goes. Who hasn't gone yet? May?
Hi, I'm May. I was Alyssa Solaniari, the Asimar Druid who is 16 and is in fact the chosen one. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MaybeBuzz, where I post a constant train. What is it like consciousness stream? It's a nightmare. Yeah, True of Consciousness. I think that my favorite part from tonight was, I don't know, I agree, just like the whole time. Like, I know that it's like LOL Kappa, like we had to stall, but like that's exactly what we do anyway. So it was kind of that it was like this. I think that this episode just like summed up us and like our group and how we sort of like tackle problems and tackle decisions. And I think that it's very like in line with how we've been this whole campaign, with how we do stuff. So yeah, that's it.
So it's just me, right? Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Hi, I am Matthew Foreman. I am at Matt.
At Matt.
At Matt. I am at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. I was your DM tonight. I agree with what you said. I think that I think you are all a group that are really fascinating to watch talk to each other and deliberate in a way I don't think many groups like. I think that's usually the lowest point in any D&D live play when the group starts debating for me. Like people in my home game, like where I'm a player, know that like I'm the guy who like when the players start discussing something, I'm like I kick down the door. But y'all have a wonderful way of role playing and doing that. But my actual absolute star moment was if he can lead the crabs, he can lead the giants. Fucking Faye.
How did I miss that?
Alyssa, or excuse me, Aubrey said it. It fucking set me. Like I had to mute myself. It was just, like the way she said it to herself was just iconic. Okay, tomorrow, folks, we're going to be doing the Space Potato one shot at 1 or 1:30 p.m. CDT. And then I will be on Twitch TV/Corey Hickson DMing my third D&D game this week for Keep on the Shadowfell with Corey Hickson, Annalyn, Mr. Puddins, and Star as my players. So come check us out. Twitch TV/Corey Hickson. That starts at 7:30 p.m. CDT. We start a little after that. And they're in the middle of a really big, intense fight, if you can imagine that. So, yeah. We're going to raid. I think we're just going to raid Halloran again. Because why not? Yep, Space Potatoes tomorrow, Miwa. Should be 1 or 1:30 p.m. CDT. We're going to raid Halloran because he's a cool guy.
Nice.
Yay.
All right.
Potatoes.
Thank you all so much for sticking around. We'll catch us back here at 9:30 p.m. CDT. And, thank you for all the support. Have a good night. Bye. They're gone.